You know, there's something truly special about the American road trip, right? It's more than just a vacation. It's this idea of freedom, of discovery. It's about all the stories that are literally written into the pavement of this country's highways. These roads, they're not just asphalt. They're like the veins of America, connecting all these small towns and big dreams.
And that's what this is really all about. A journey right into the heart of the country, where honestly, the destination is kind of secondary to the adventure you find just getting there. For generations, this has been a rite of passage, a way to really get a feel for the vast, complicated, and beautiful thing that is America.
But think about it. In our world of interstates and just getting from point A to point B as fast as humanly possible, what happens to those stories? Are we losing them? Are all the unique characters, the quirky roadside stops, and the local histories, are they just fading away? Well, one man has pretty much dedicated his entire life to making sure that never, ever happens.
And that brings us to the journey of Jim Hinckley, a storyteller who took a pretty unique talent and turned it into his life's work.
And you gotta love this. With some encouragement from his wife, Judy, Jim took that friendly joke to heart and started a mission to get people out on the road and to share America's incredible story 1 mile at a time.
And wow, what a journey it's been. We're talking more than 30 years of exploring the back roads, digging into everything from forgotten ghost towns to the neon glow of classic diners. He's been connecting the past with the present, making sure these places don't get left behind.
So all of this, it's all part of what he calls Jim Hinckley's America. And let me tell you, this is so much more than a travel blog. It's a whole world built to promote what's called heritage tourism and really connect people with the stories that are woven right into the American landscape. And when you look at what he's created, it's just staggering. I mean, we're talking over 20 books on everything from Route 66 to the history of the American car, not to mention tons of articles, blogs, and newsletters. The man is a true chronicler of the road. Okay, so you've got all these amazing stories, but how do you share them in today's world? How do you create that feeling of a roadside community when everything's digital? Well, that's where the heart of the whole Jim Hinckley's America network comes in. Every Sunday morning, Jim fires up the mic for Coffee with Jim, a podcast that basically becomes a virtual roadside diner for road trip fans and storytellers from all over the globe.
And the whole idea here is so simple, but it's just brilliant. It's designed to give you that feeling of swapping stories over a cup of coffee at some local spot, but you can be a part of it from anywhere. It's a shared adventure, and everyone's invited to pull up a virtual chair.
And we're not talking about just anyone. The guest list is a total who's who of American road culture. You've got Pulitzer Prize-winning journalists, documentary filmmakers, and even the mayors and association presidents who are on the ground working to preserve these historic roads.
And you know it's the real deal when it gets official recognition like this. The podcast's influence is so big that it's been awarded official certification for the Route 60 Centennial. That just goes to show how important it is in the lead up to the Mother Road's 100th anniversary.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about telling cool stories for fun. This work has a real, tangible impact on communities all across the country.
I mean, just look at the numbers. To give you an idea of the reach, in a single month, the entire Jim Hinckley's American network, the website, social media, the podcast, all of it, reached more than 300,000 people. And get this, by the very next month, just the Coffee with Jim podcast had blown past 20,000 downloads. That is a massive and really engaged audience.
So what does he do with that huge audience? He puts it to work. He actually consults with towns to help them build up their own tourism. He speaks at big conferences on how to revitalize local economies, and he creates programs to help communities celebrate their own history.
And after decades of this work, the community wanted to say thank you in, well, probably the most amazing way possible. They unveiled a life-sized bronze statue of Jim during the National Road Trip Day celebrations in his hometown of Kingman, Arizona.
And here's the really cool part, the part that connects everything. The statue isn't just a statue. It's the starting point for a self-guided walking tour. You scan the QR code on the plaque, and you can literally hear Jim himself narrate the history of the town's famous spots. How cool is that?
So, where is all this heading? Well, it's building up to something huge on America's most famous highway.
Yup, all eyes are on 2026. That's the 100th anniversary of Route 66. And Jim is right in the middle of it, consulting and promoting a jam-packed schedule of centennial events. Everything from car caravans and festivals to big conferences about the future of the road. What Jim is really doing here is making sure these stories and traditions don't just become dusty old memories. He's out there inspiring a whole new generation of people to get off the interstate, take that scenic route, and find the magic of the American road trip for themselves.
And that's really the core message, isn't it? It's not about just sitting back and listening to stories. It's a direct invitation to get out there and actually become a part of the adventure. So it really makes you think, doesn't it? What history, what fascinating characters, what little adventures are just waiting for you to find them? Maybe just a short drive from where you are right now.
So if you've got that road trip itch now, you can find all of his work, including that Coffee with Jim podcast, just by looking up Jim Hinckley's America online. Enjoy the journey.